or what happens around you, your circumstances or whatever you have to fight through, continue to speak positive words over your life and allow those things to become your reality every single day. I mean, do not skip a day. I don't care what people say. What kind of world does she think she is living in? The kind of world that I want to create for myself. Because oftentimes a lot of people speak things over themselves that they do not necessarily want for themselves. And then when those things become your reality, you are surprised or disappointed. You're angry and frustrated and all those things because we have not gotten in the habit of putting positive things in our mind about ourselves and our lives, speaking positive words out of our mouth about our lives. Stop speaking negative things over your life. Stop talking about how sick and broke you are and all those type of things. That is not what you want for yourself in our reality. You want great things for yourself. So those are only the things that you should be speaking over yourself, and we should get in the habit of doing it over and over and over and over and over again. Those things will become your reality. You will live more comfortable than you have ever lived in your entire life if we learn how to get in the habit of changing the perspective on our own lives. Just shift it a little bit from wherever it was, whatever you had to go through, to where you want it to be, and kind of focus your energy and your attention on those good things that you want for yourself, for your life, for your children. Speak those things, think those things, talk about those things. When you are talking to other people about your life, don't speak negative on your own life. Don't do that to yourself, because those things will manifest. That is real, that is true. Those are laws of nature. There's no getting around it. And we have to be more optimistic about our own lives. It will help us. It will work out for us in our favor. It is time for us to enjoy our lives. It's time for us to be happy. I believe that even as a human race, we have been through enough suffering. We have went through enough things, even to this point in humanity, that it is time to turn the table and see the other side of us growing and learning and loving and caring and sharing. And I mean, there's about a handful of people that grasp the concept of that and realize that suffering has taken a toll on humanity. And it's time, in my eyes, I believe that it's time for it to come to an end, that we can learn how to put aside our petty differences and learn how to get along better together. It will make life more enjoyable for us while we are here on this earth, because we don't know how much time we have here. We don't know how long we're going to be here, and only us individually can I want to say control our experience or the direction that our life goes in. You have the power and control of your own destiny, believe it or not. I know our lives are in God's hands ultimately, but the way that your life goes is totally, completely up to you. And some people live a miserable life, and some people leave this earth in misery. So I don't want to be those people. But anyway, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. How are you? I hope you all are doing great this morning. It is still morning. I did make it in time for me to deliver this week's life lesson, which I am super, super excited through the roof. Excited. I am so excited to be delivering this week's life lesson, because of the nature of it. And I believe that a lot of people can relate to all of the topics that I present to you guys. All of these topics are very relatable. As human beings, we go through some of the same things. We are more alike than we are different. We all want to be happy. We all want to be loved. And we all go through some of the same struggles in life. So really, I want people to know that they are not alone in their struggle. You are not alone. You are not alienated. You are not the only person that this ever happened to or has to go through certain things. These type of things happen all the time. So I just really want people to know that despite of what society says, and we putting on this perfect image on these social media platforms and all of those things, I'm a real person that has real struggles, that been through some serious issues and has overcome a lot of things, and I can relate to things on a lot of different levels. So the struggle is real. There are real people out here that go through real things, and trust me, I understand. So, and one of my main focus points is to allow people to know that there is another side. There is another side. It does not stop there. You can make it through. You can make it through. I promise you. I just got a little teary eyed when I said that, because 10 years ago, you could not convince me that I would be able to make it through the other side of my struggles and all the things that I had to go through in my life. I thought my life was completely over. And even for me to be sitting here before you today, that is my testimony. What you are looking at is a testimony. I am a walking survival story. I am a walking testimony to be able to sit in front of people and say that I made it through the things that I had to make it through in life. So I do want everyone to know that if God allowed me, little old me, to make it through the things that I have made it through in life, I know 100% for sure that God will allow you to make it through those things too. I am not special by any stretch of the imagination. I am not special. I am just simply a person that chose life, that did not allow the circumstances and the things that I was born into and all of those things to control the destiny of my life. I chose to stand up and fight back against all of the things that were created to destroy me. I destroyed those things one by one. So I did not allow myself to be taken under by the circumstances of life, no matter what direction it came from. And all you have to do today for yourself is choose life, because that's what I did. I chose life. I wanted to live. I wanted to be a mother. I fought for my children. I fought for my life. I fought for myself, and I continue to fight. My fight is not over. I continue to push through every single day. So peace, kings and queens. Good morning and welcome to this week's life lesson. I greet you in peace. I welcome you in peace. This is a space of peace and tranquility. You can relax your mind. You can be here in complete relaxation, whatever you had to go through at your job or at school or at home or whatever. You can lay those things down and just come here and be at ease, even if it's just in these moments. You can return back to your regular life after we get done with these life lessons, and hopefully you can take something with you that is going to guide you, that is going to help you, that is going to allow you to deal with different situations differently, opposed to how you probably would have dealt with them before you have heard some of the things that you might hear on this life lesson today. So I want to help you. I am here to help you, and I hope that you are open and willing enough to accept the offer that I am extending to you today. If you are ready for some healing, you want to tune into this week's life lesson. You have officially been welcome to join us. So please, even if you watch it now, watch it later. It don't matter. I am very grateful for all of those who take their time out to view these messages. And my only prayer is that God uses me, that I may be effective. I don't want to just get up here and talk and just, try to fill is air with just saying words. I want to be able to help people. I want these words to carry meaning. I want them to be powerful. I want them to resonate with you in some way, that it is going to help you in some way, shape, or form. So I'm helping myself when I dig into these life lessons and I do this research and I do these studies. These things come back to me in so many ways in the days moving forward, even beyond the point of me delivering these life lessons. So I'm just grateful to be the one who is willing and able and has the courage to sit before people and talk about my testimony and the things that God has allowed me to make it through, and all of those things, and help other people. I'm helping other people while I still need help. Like, I am in the process of continuing to heal myself, and I don't mind. This is not a burden to me. I get pleasure out of learning and teaching and growing and healing and doing those things, not only by myself but doing them with people who are also on that same boat. Like, listen, I've been through some stuff too. How did you do it? How did you get to where you are? And I don't mind sharing those things with you all, because I know that there is an abundant amount of healing, and there's enough for everybody, and we should all start the process of getting down to the source of our issues and allowing ourselves to live and learn and grow on the regular basis. So here we go. Before we dive in, let's calm our spirits and clear our minds and just rest in a few moments of gratitude. For those of you who are familiar with my life lessons, before I dive into each week's Wednesday's life lessons, I love to just take a few moments to clear my mind, calm my spirit, and fill myself with gratitude. Forget about everything else, even leading up to this point, and allowing myself to be grateful in these moments. I cannot express to you enough the importance of gratitude and what you do for yourself when you allow yourself to be grateful on the regular basis. We ain't doing God a favor by learning how to be grateful. We are literally opening our own selves up to many more blessings and allowing ourselves to just to be blessed on so many levels. Expressing gratitude does things for you that you probably won't even realize it is doing for you in those moments. But in those following moments, you will realize how taking time out to express gratitude, it lifts your vibrations. It takes you to a higher place. It makes you feel better about yourself and your life and the things that you have and all of those type of things. It takes you out of a bitter mood, out of a complaining mood, and just allows you to focus on the things that you are grateful for, and it literally puts you in a better place, even if it's just momentarily. So I allow that to become my practice on the regular basis. Multiple times a day, I stop to express gratitude. I express gratitude when I wake up in the morning. I express gratitude when I lay down at night. I express gratitude when I make it home from work at night. I express gratitude when, I'm telling you, every moment of my life is a walking expression of gratitude. Even when in times that it might seem weird or awkward, or, what are you expressing gratitude? Now, I express gratitude for everything. I looked at my trash can one day. Call me crazy. I looked at my trash can one day and began to express gratitude for the fact that my children and I are even able to accumulate the amount of trash that we have in our trash. Because that means we got stuff. We got stuff that we are able to dispose of the part of it that we don't need, and we were able to go out and purchase it, whether it was food or whether it was anything, things for around the house or whatever. So that means I have something to be grateful for. Even when I look at the things that are being accumulated in my trash, I get filled up with gratitude over things like that. And in turn, God allows me to have more and more and more of the things that I need. Not only the things that I need, but the things that I want as well. I express gratitude when my body functions in ways that I need for my body to function. And God allows me to get stronger and smarter and healthier and all of those things every single day because I am in a constant state of expressing gratitude on the regular basis. So it allows me to open myself up to receive more and more and more and more and more. It puts me in receptive mode. That is not the only, excuse me, only reason why I express gratitude, but I did realize the effectiveness of it, and excuse me, that is a good reason why I allow myself to be consumed in gratitude even more because of the way that I am blessed when I take time out to express gratitude on a regular basis. So in these moments, I like to close my eyes and just cram in as many things that I can possibly cram in these few moments, as many things that I am mostly grateful for because I want my vibrations to be lifted in these moments. I want to feel good about myself and the things that I am doing, sitting before you, delivering life lessons, being motivational, all of those things. I want to feel good and I want you to feel good as well. So let's just take this few moments and just be totally consumed. Allow your whole self to jump in the sea of gratefulness. I mean, from head to toe. I want you to be able to feel it. It is going to help you. Okay, here we go. That does something for me every time. I literally just get whelped up with emotion and I just feel like, I'm getting teary eyed. I feel my vibrations lifting. I don't want to stop. I want to continue on. But that's all right because I still got some more day left. So beyond this message, I will allow myself to be overcome with emotions of gratitude because that's what I choose for myself. Gratitude is a wonderful emotion. It is a good emotion. And when we allow ourselves to be consumed in gratitude, we can forget about the struggles of life and the things that we have to go through on the day-to-day basis and just be grateful for where we are, what we have, and all of those things. It puts you in a better place overall. So do that for yourself. Do that for yourself. Allow yourself to be consumed in gratitude. It is going to help you. I promise it is. So are you guys ready for this week's life lesson? You probably already have a general idea. If you have been watching my life lessons and my messages, my last week's life lesson. So I am in a three-part series, and this is the third part of it. Last week's life lesson was on trauma. My week before that, the Friday before last Wednesday, I did a motivational power pack message on overcoming trauma. I'm talking about drama. See, y'all full of too much drama out here. No, I'm playing. Overcoming trauma. So it was overcoming trauma. Then I did my life lesson on trauma, and now I'm doing a life lesson on overcoming trauma. So, in honor of National Trauma Month. This is National Trauma Month. I did not know that. For those of you who tune in on a regular basis, I was invited to Delaware Psychiatric Center to speak publicly. So this is my last life lesson before I go to speak publicly next week. I was invited as a guest speaker to speak on trauma in honor of National Trauma Month. I did not know that until I received the email a few weeks ago. I think about my life and the trauma that God has allowed me to make it through. And on top of that, since I have begun these series on trauma, I have been talking to so many people that has dealt with trauma and even as adults are still trying to overcome trauma. I'm talking about smack dab just stuck in the middle of trauma, like those traumas are still happening to them, like it still exists, like not even recognizing it in past tense, like these traumas are still happening. So I want us, and that's just a handful of people that I talk to, and I know I have associated with people before in the past about trauma, but I want us to be able to look at our trauma as a thing in the past and not allow ourselves to be overcome by our trauma, because trauma is something that happened, past tense. A lot of people go through post-traumatic stress disorder. They diagnosed me with post-traumatic stress disorder some years ago. I threw that out the window. Almost as soon as I received that diagnosis, they gave me a social security check. They gave me a bag full of prescription medications they wanted me to take in the morning. They wanted me to take in the afternoon, and they wanted me to take them again in the evening before I went to bed. And I would have been a walking zombie if I chose to accept that diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder. I could still be on that medication. I could still be getting a social security a check for being traumatized, because I do have traumas, childhood traumas. I was molested as a child that started at a very young age, which had a devastating effect on my life as I grew older. So I am a relative to trauma. I know what it feels like to be traumatized by things of the past, but I don't want us to allow ourselves to be consumed in these traumas like they are still happening. I want us to be able to look back at it like that is just what happened. And what happened to you before in your past should not determine what your future is going to look like. It should not determine the direction of your life, your suffering, and the things that you do on the regular basis, and how you react, and all of those type of things. And I know that it is not easy, and even to be at the place of healing that God has allowed me to be at, even right now in my life, it took a lot of hard work. I had to work for where I am today. Was it worth it? Yes, it was. I had to crawl and scratch and gnaw and cry and scream and bleed and whatever I had to do. I had to get myself out of that traumatized state of mind. I had to slap myself out of it. I had to look myself in the mirror, tell myself, it's over. That's not you. They lied. It shouldn't happen. That should never have happened to you. Snap out of it. Nothing is happening to you right now. You're okay. That was the past. It's over. They were wrong. You didn't deserve it. I had to be very creative in my self-growth. I was determined to get to where I am today as far as my trauma is concerned. So when I tell you, listen, when I tell you this thing hits home on such a personal level, and like, God is just so decent. I never would have even thought of doing a series on trauma had not I been invited to guest speak on trauma. I did not even know it was National Traumas Month. So I am very grateful to and honored to be able to be chosen as a guest speaker in honor of National Trauma Month. But it just really opened my eyes to how many people suffer with traumas, continue to suffer with traumas, and need to begin the process of healing as far as their trauma is concerned. So, yes, we are still wrapping up. This is probably going to be my final message, because like I said, I will prepare myself to this is prepare myself. I have prepared myself, used you guys as my personal guinea pigs. I mean, you have allowed me to practice on you because the experience is much different when I am doing virtual messages and I do go out into the public and speak on a personal level on the regular basis as well. But when I am doing public speaking in that manner, the experience is much different. Just interacting with people and people yelling out in the crowd and raising their hands and asking me questions, and it is just such an experience. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be able to have prepared myself in this manner, and just to realize, to open my eyes to the fact that so many people are suffering with so many different traumas and so many different ways. Trauma comes in a variety of shapes and forms, and there's just so many different types of trauma. You may be suffering through trauma and don't even realize the seriousness of the trauma that you are suffering with, or even realize the fact that you are suffering with trauma at all. You might not even know that you are suffering with trauma right now. Listen, this thing is deep. This thing is deep. It is serious. And there are so many people that needs to be released from the stronghold of the trauma that has been controlling their lives for way too long. So let's get into it. Get into it. Get into it. National Trauma Month, Part 3 on overcoming trauma. So last week I gave you tips and tools. If you want to go back to last week's lesson, I did do a complete study on trauma, and I broke down trauma to you last week. But being as though this is the third part of the series on trauma, and wrapping up this series on trauma, I want to end it with us being able to learn how to overcome trauma. I just really felt as though that specifying that was very valuable, and it would help so many people in so many different ways. So overcoming trauma, this is what we're doing today. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're getting into. We are going to learn how to overcome trauma. Overcoming trauma means not putting yourself through that experience again, even if it's in your own mind. And that's where the suffering takes place. Overcoming trauma means not continuing to put yourself through that experience over and over and over again. Let's use car accidents. For example, car accidents can cause trauma. It happened to you one time, but you were jumping up in your sleep in the middle of the night in cold sweats, and you breathing hard, and you just feel like that car accident is happening over and over and over and over and over again. Those things are controllable, because what you do for your mind, even before you lay your head down at night, you will be able to sleep better at night if you put your mind in the state of healing. Stop going through that car accident over and over and over and over again in your own mind. You have to tell yourself in your conscious mind, while you are awoke, while those intrusive thoughts are coming, you have to stop those intrusive thoughts and allowing your thoughts to be all over the place, and your mind is just idle. You are not taking control and power of the thoughts that go through your mind on a regular basis. Get yourself together. Gather your thoughts. Gather your thoughts. Get them in one place. Say, hold up, just wait a minute. Give me a second. Let me get my thoughts together. Because you're going to carry that in the bed with you at night, and that's why you ain't going to be able to go to sleep. Because you have to practice these things during the day. That car accident happened once. You might have been in multiple car accidents, but you may never be in another car accident again. In all reality, your car accident days might be completely over. I don't know why you got in one car accident. I don't know why you got in two car accidents. Might have gotten into multiple 3 car accidents before in your life. Maybe God is trying to tell you something. Take the bus. I don't know. I don't know why these things had to happen for whatever reason, but you have to allow yourself to be able to get in a place within your own mind where you stop the suffering mentally. Stop replaying the tape in your mind over and over and over again. Tell yourself, that was the last car accident I'm going to ever get in. It happened. It's over. Had to get that last car accident out of my system. People get into accidents. It happens. Accidents happens. We live in a world where billions and billions of people, we are trying to make it from point A to point B. We got so much going on. We think about whether we left the stove on or we let the dog out or whatever, and we try to focus on our daily lives and make it to work at the same time, and we're only human. Accidents are allowed. Accidents are allowed, and it's okay. Put that in your own mind, even if it was your own fault. Accidents are allowed. I'm only human. Let me get past this so I won't continue to make the same mistakes over and over and over again. Even if you are the cause of some of your own traumas, put yourself in a state of mind that I am going to learn from being the cause of my own trauma. Say you just let the wrong person into your life and you was just in a wicked relationship with the wrong person for many, many years. You done let them slide, get away with too much stuff. It has caused you trauma because now you are in this relationship or have allowed yourself to be traumatized by a relationship that you should have never allowed yourself to get into in the first place. We are just using hypothetical circumstances. You have to tell yourself, I made the mistake of letting my guard down, settling for less than what I know I am worth, and I will never allow myself to get in that situation again. That was my fault. If I had to point the finger and blame it on anybody why I went through the suffering that I had to go through to learn my lesson by being in this bad relationship for way too long, is because I made the wrong mistake of dealing and settling down and dealing with things that I should have never settled down with. I should have never married that person. I should have never slept with that person. I should have never bear children with that person. I shouldn't even say hi to him. Walking by him in the street, I should have just kept my head straight and kept on walking. So next time, I'm going to keep walking straight. I don't care how fine he look, because everything that glitter ain't gold. Okay? So I'm just going to keep on looking straight like I don't even see him. And I'm going to keep walking in the first signs of red flags and people showing me who they really are. I'm not going to ignore those things because I don't want to continue to go through the same suffering and the same trauma. Some people go through the same trauma with different people over and over, continue to pick the wrong me. I learned my lesson. Trust me, I had to learn my lesson. Number one, I didn't love myself. So I give myself grace for that. That is one reason why I continue to pick the wrong mates in life over and over and over again. So if you have any sense of self-love, you will not allow yourself to settle for less than what you know that you are worth. That is just period, point blank. But we have to learn from our own mistakes, because a lot of times we cause our own selves this trauma. It is because of you. Not always. Not always. Most times we are victims of trauma from the hands of other people. That's me. I know I was abused. I was molested. I was verbally abused. I was emotionally abused. I was torn down from the inside out. That was no wrongdoing of my own. That was just the type of people that I was born into. My relatives. Those were the type of people. I had no choice of the people that I was born into. These things happen. I'm not saying all the time that we are that we cause our own trauma, but there was. discuss certain instances aside from that trauma that I had to go through at a very early age in life, me choosing the wrong mate in life. I caused myself some of my own trauma. Oh, I'ma make it work. And he gonna be all right. And he promised he gonna fix himself up and get himself together. And he ain't gonna do it no more. And all of this type of stuff. And I continue to fall for the same stupid bullcrap and put myself basically. So now this is not even that person doing whatever they are doing to me. This is allowing myself to continue to go through the same traumas over and over and over and over and over again. When is the buck going to stop? So I had to say, wait a minute, we're going to pump the brakes on all of this. And when I begin to make wiser decisions with the people that I allowed myself to be associated with, not only as far as my relationship status are concerned, but just period. Friends, families, whatever, mates. I have to be very careful of female friends, girlfriends, whatever. I have to be very careful of the people that I allow myself to be associated with, because now that I love myself more, the way that I should have loved myself in the first place, that I should have been raised to love, I had to teach myself how to love myself. Now I am more careful of the people that I associate myself with, and in turn that minimize my suffering and my trauma, especially due to the hands of other people. You go on ahead with that. You're going to have to do whatever you used to doing and go ahead on around the corner and play those games with somebody else, because you're not doing it with me. I came too far and I worked too hard and I love myself way too much for me to continue to allow myself to go through some of the same suffering over and over and over again. So you had to tell yourself when the buck going to stop. When is it going to be over for you? Because you can make the decision in your life for when your suffering is going to stop, so you won't have to go through some of the same traumas. Now you traumatized. You looking over your shoulder. Every time you turn around, you think somebody trying to do something to you because of what you continue to allow yourself to go through over and over and over again on a regular basis. In our reality, ain't nobody worried about you. You just not making wise decisions. Come on. It's too early. It's too early. Let me continue on with my life lesson. So we don't choose to be victims, but we choose to be overcomers. Like I said, a lot of our traumas are at the hands of other people. These things happen. We got some miserable, wicked, crazy, ignorant people out here who don't even care enough about themselves, let alone care enough about the pain that they are intentionally inflicting on you. People just got issues. And I cannot explain I don't even want to know why some people do some of the things that they do to cause harm on other people. I'm just glad that I'm not that ignorant. I'm glad that I don't have to suffer through a lot of the mental, I don't know. People just be going through some stuff in their own mind where they think that it is okay to cause harm on other human beings. I just thank God that it ain't me. I never want to be at that place in my own mind that I am comfortable with conflicting harm on other human beings. That is just not okay. So we don't choose our trauma. We don't choose the hurt. It happens for whatever reason, under whatever different circumstances. We become the victims of trauma at one point or another in our lives. But we had to make the conscious decision in our own mind to be overcomers of these traumas. Some people come back from trauma stronger than ever. I want to be some people. I just do. Some people come back from trauma. They bounce back like they never even fell down. I want to be the type of person that you would never know the trauma that I had to overcome unless I sat you down and told you my story. I want you to be like, what? You had to go through that? You were on drugs and alcohol? You have been a single mother for how long? You got that many kids? You got divorced and what your marriage was like what? And you was molested as a child and you were abused and they said what to you and what kind of abuse that you had to go through? I want you to not even I want you to need proof. Like you're lying. Like you don't even look like half the stuff that you said that you've been through. Because the comeback was just that strong. That's what I'm talking about. And that can be any of us. That can be any of us. The comeback, the bounce back. People let you, nah, you ain't been in that. You ain't been to hell. How hot was it down there? I can tell you how hot hell was. I promise you I can, because hell was hot. I've been there a couple times. Trust me. I done been to hell, came back, went back to hell, came back, and then been to hell again. I had to come up out of hell a couple times. Trust me, I know how hot hell is. And it ain't fun down there either. It just ain't. But some people, the comeback, I'm telling you, the comeback, that bounce back, that thing got to be unrecognizable. You be like, dang, wow. Blow your own mind. Like, I can't believe that I'm sitting here and am able to talk to people about the trauma that I had to overcome. That is amazing. God revealed to me. Let me tell y'all something real quick. I'm going to go ahead on with my life lesson. I went on a big trip. I went to Dubai and Maldives a few years ago. Around the same time of year was a Mother's Day trip. And this was the biggest trip I ever took in my life. It was about a 14-hour flight. And leading up to the trip, I was so excited. I prayed over it so many different ways. I'm asking God. I wanted something out of that experience. So I asked God to not allow me to return the same way that I left. I want on an emotional, a spiritual journey. Let me just say that. I went on a spiritual journey. It was not easy. Things try to get in the way of us getting on a plane. The enemy is deceitful. The enemy is a liar. So this is why the enemy tried to prevent me from going on that trip. And I was on a spiritual journey. I asked God for something during that spiritual journey, and I received exactly what I asked God for, plus some. I came back and I cried. I was laying in my bed and I said I want to be one of those amazing people with one of those powerful testimonies that can change the world. And it was like, shoo. It was like God just pulled the wool from over my eyes. I hate crying. I'm laying in my bed. I'm snotting. I'm slobbing. I'm crying. And God whispered in my ear, right in that moment, you are one of those amazing people with a powerful testimony. I was like, oh my gosh. This was like 2 days after I came back from Dubai and Maldives, and the journey and just looking back on it and everything. It was just such a spiritual journey, and that God revealed me to me during that journey. When you ask, you will get what you ask for. I got exactly what I asked for, and I've been on this journey ever since. God was like, all right, now you know. And I believe that God was already trying to reveal this part of me to me. But when I laid myself to the side, and I allowed myself to be open and receptive to what I was asking God for. That's when He gave it to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I could not believe the side of me that God revealed to me. And this, what you are looking at right now, was the outcome of what I asked God for during that spiritual journey. So He was like, newsflash, you came back stronger. You are one of those people. Your testimony is not for you. You need to tell somebody. You need to tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody. You need to sit in front of people and speak your powerful testimony. This is why I gave it to you. Not for you to say how I overcome and how you could. I want you to be grateful that I allowed you to overcome the things that you had to overcome. But I gave you your testimony so you can tell somebody what I did for you. And I was like, wow. So I began. I began public speaking before I became a virtual worldwide influencer. Now I am influencing people all over the world. I was looking at some of my information on my social media platforms, and it was telling me different countries that I am influencing people in the UK and Ghana, and people all over the world are viewing my videos. And I was like, wow. So yeah, that was just so spiritual. It was so purposeful, and I see why God allowed me to overcome all of the things that He had allowed me to go through because of the purpose in my life. So and that stands out to me as well. So you have overcome because you have purpose. And I believe that I meant to say that to you guys as well. You have overcome the things that you had to overcome because you have purpose. So just because you experience trauma doesn't mean you will always suffer with the symptoms of it forever. That does not mean you will continue to suffer with the same things that you had to suffer with, those initial emotions and reactions and all of those things that you had to go through initially, which is a natural reaction because you are human and you don't understand why you are going through these things. You are still trying to process the things that you have that you had to go through. Hi, Karan. My son just popped up on my live, which he is never on here. But yeah, that don't mean that you always have to go through those things forever. And a lot of people think that their suffering is has to last forever. A lot of people think that they have to live in suffering, and a lot of people think that they have to die in suffering, but you don't. And for those of you who think that because of the thing that you had to go through, it has to be a ongoing a continuous journey of suffering, that is not true. Your suffering can come to an end. Any of those things that you had to go through because of your trauma, all of those things can come to an end. None of those things have to last forever. So I don't think we realize that. So ask yourself, how am I going to move forward? This is so personal. We have to personalize this. Of course, my trauma is not your trauma. Your trauma is not my trauma. I don't know what you had to go through. I don't understand what it feels like to have to go through some of the things that you have to go through. And you may never understand what it feels like to have to go through some of the things that I had to go through. But you have to stop and ask yourself the question, how am I going to move forward? And we have to be very creative in our self-improvement and our self-growth and all of those things. Look deep within yourself. So I'm going to give you tools because we are talking about overcoming trauma. And I am not just saying these things because I don't have nothing else better to do. I really want you to begin to do some of these things so you can overcome your trauma. So look deep inside yourself and find out everything that it is going to take for you to overcome your trauma. It ain't going to be on the surface. It ain't going to be talking to a psychiatrist one time. It ain't going to be from watching people on social media or watching these videos or whatever. When I am not on social media, I do the work. I do internal work. I am on a spiritual journey of healing that I want to be on for the rest of my life. One thing that I do on the regular basis is yoga. I practice yoga. I have begun to practice yoga months ago. And I have released so much trauma from my body physically that I was holding on to these tension in my joints. And I release the trauma out of my joints by practicing yoga on a regular basis. So when you look up overcoming trauma, they suggest that everyone practices yoga in their lives at one point or another because it literally releases the tension that we store inside of our body. So these are the things that I do when I am not looking at you, when I am not out here motivating people and doing virtual messages and public speaking and preparing messages and studying and all of those type of things. I practice healing on myself a lot. I practice self-care a lot. I practice self-love a lot. So I am on a journey of healing that I would recommend everyone to be on, but I want us to be able to be creative in this. Well, that's why I asked the question, what am I going to do to move forward? So you have to personalize it. What am I going to have to do? And I want you to really search deep down within yourself and look for ways that you can find ways to do everything to bring out whatever that you need to do to overcome these traumas. Whatever, look deep down in yourself and do whatever it is going to take for you to overcome these traumas. So you have to look within yourself and search for these things, and when you do, you will find these things, little simple things, little things that you can add to your daily life on the regular basis. There are things that you can do on the regular basis that is going to help you overcome your trauma. So you can add things into your daily life: positive self-talk, talking to someone, journaling, whatever, things that you have to do, meditation, anything that you can incorporate, prayer, whatever you have to do. Be creative in your self-growth. And just because one thing does not work, do not continue to try to search for things to allow yourself to overcome your trauma, because something is going to stick, something is going to work, something is going to be very effective. Do not stop trying just because one thing does not work. So say to yourself, yes, this is what happened to me, but it's over and I want to heal. It happened, it hurt, I want to heal. I said that so many times. I believe I did a life lesson on healing, and I repeated those three things over and over and over again. It happened, it hurt, I want to heal. So I thought it was very important for me to incorporate that in this life lesson. Say to yourself, yes, this is what happened to me, but it's over and I want to heal. We can't deny the fact that these things happen. It happened, it hurt, heal. It happened, it hurt, heal. There's so much healing out here waiting for you. So it's not going to be easy, but don't give up on yourself. And I think that that is very important. We have to be very persistent, just like you persistent with everything else, anything else that you want to chase after, run after, or whatever. When it comes down to your self growth, your healing, and all of those type of things, you have to be very you have to be consistent. You have to just continue to try over and over and over again. That's one thing that I'm glad that I do on the regular basis. Consistency is key. Continue to do those things. Try over and over and over again. Things like my physical fitness. I continue to put healthy things in my body. I continue to stay physically active. I realize the fact that I am getting older. I want to be healthier. I want to be healthy for a very long time. So it's not going to happen just from me going to the gym one time. I realize that I have to be consistent. I have to continue to do those things over and over and over again for them to be effective in my life. And that is with everything. That is with everything. That is with healing, with overcoming trauma. You have to continue to do these things over and over and over again for you to be able to see the effects from it. If you have not, to this point in your life, from the time that your trauma has happened to you to right now, if you have never begun the process of healing or overcoming your trauma, I suggest that you begin to jump headfirst into those things now. You have to be very patient with yourself, and you have to realize that it can take years to overcome the trauma that has been embedded inside of your being, because now this thing has become a part of you, and you have to separate yourself from your trauma. This is you and this is your trauma. This is you and this is what happened to you. And these things are Siamese twins. They are conjoined together right now, and you have to separate the two. You have to separate yourself from the trauma that has happened to you. You do not have to carry around trauma from your past with you for the rest of your life. You can release those things, let it go, and move on with the rest of your life. I'm telling you, that mental healing that has to take place, that is absolutely necessary in order for us to move forward. It can have a reflection on your entire life. You can heal so much mentally that you can begin to heal emotionally, that the cells in your body that repair themselves in order for you to stay healthy on the regular basis, they will get the memo. You will be physically healthy because of the healing that you allow to take place in your mind. I'm telling you, your body will get the memo. This healing after healing after healing. Once you make up in your own mind that I want healing to be my portion, that I want to release these past traumas from myself and move on to a healing journey, every aspect of your life would catch on. Amen. Oh, this is what we doing now. This is just what we doing. We healing right now. We was in a state of sick and suffering before. Now that that is over, we are on a journey of healing. So this is what we doing right now. Listen, this might not be for everybody. This may only be for the people that genuinely want to experience the process of healing and moving forward past the traumas in their lives. You have to want this in order for it to work. I wanted it. I just did. I wanted my life. I wanted my health. I wanted my healing. I did not want the things that happened to me to take me to my death. I did not want to suffer until I died. I wanted to live a little bit. I wanted to be happy. I wanted to be whole. I wanted to do the things that I am doing right now to experience and enjoy my life. I wanted to travel. I wanted to dance. I wanted to sing and laugh and enjoy people and all of those type of things. And none of that would have been possible if I had not made the conscious decision to release the traumas that I have been carrying around with me for so long. I was jumpy. I was anxious. My anxiety was all over the place for no reason because of the things that happened to me as a child. I was like, well, the people that did these things to me, they're nowhere around. I am an adult person now, excuse me, and those things are never going to happen to me again. And I had to tell myself, why do I have to suffer from the things that other people did to harm me? Why do I have to carry these things around with me? If anything, they should be the ones carrying it around with them. Bad enough, I already had to suffer from them doing it to me. I had to let those things go. Not saying that I want anyone to suffer. I wholeheartedly forgive any and everyone that intends on trying to cause me harm. Not only the people who caused me harm in my past, but anybody who even think about trying to cause me harm in my future. Because number one, it wasn't effective. It didn't work. God made me stronger than my trauma and the people that caused trauma on me. God made those things were not even powerful enough to bring me down. So no, I'm not scared of my life and my future or people. I forgive those people wholeheartedly. I want you to forgive yourself for causing trauma on me. And I want you to know that God has already threw your sins into the sea of forgetfulness. You are forgiven on multiple levels. But why should I walk around with these traumas on me? I don't want it. Throw it in the trash, put it in the dumpster, throw it in the garbage, take it somewhere else. It cannot live here with me. It cannot get in my bed with me. When at night when I go to sleep, my trauma cannot walk around with me while I'm going to the supermarket, while I'm trying to be a mother to my kids, while I'm out here trying to make some money, while I'm trying to enjoy my life. My traumas are not welcome here. They can't go with me. After a long day, I want to enjoy a nice hot shower. I want to listen to some music. I want to watch some Netflix. Ain't no room for my trauma. I don't want it. And a lot of people can't do nothing without that trauma sitting on their shoulder. It's not welcome here anymore. And you have to tell yourself that. You have to tell yourself that your trauma is not welcome anymore. So convince yourself. It's not going to be easy. I did write this down, so let me just say this. It's not going to be easy, but don't give up. Convince yourself that you want to live and it's worth giving your best shot. Now, you might not think that initially. You might feel worthless. You might feel just, I am victim. You might feel defeated, but you have to convince yourself that you want to live. We all want to live. That you want to live and that it is worth giving your best shot. So you have to make that conscious decision in your own mind. Motivate yourself to get better. I motivate myself on a constant basis. I don't have a whole lot of people around me that are motivating me and encouraging me. I do have a good village of people that genuinely, honestly want to see me win. They breathe life into me. They speak positive into me. They clap for me and all of those type of things. And I'm grateful for the people that I do have and the support that I do have around me that keeps me going. But I motivate myself a lot. Even when I don't feel like it, even when I feel like feeling sorry for myself, and when I'm tired, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, whatever, I snap myself out of it and I motivate myself because I want that to be my natural reaction to circumstances and to things that happen. And when my kids getting on my nerves and whatever happens in the car acting up or whatever happens, I want to be able to jump right into overdrive and say, pick your head up, Hold your shoulders back. You gonna be all right. God allowed you to make it this far. You didn't make it this far just to make it this far. Look at the things you made it through in the past. Look at you now. Look how strong you are. Look how smart you are. Look at your kids. All of those type of things. I motivate myself. And it works, and it gets easier. It comes more natural. All of those things. So I get in the habit of motivating myself, and it's very effective. It makes me happy. It keeps me going. It makes it worth it. Things are going to happen. We cannot control the circumstances of life. Things are just going to happen. You want to be able to get in the habit of learning how to motivate yourself to get better. When you motivate yourself, you are going to get better. I am here to motivate you. I am here for you. We all need a little bit of motivation from time to time from different people and all of those type of things. But you want to be able to get in the habit of motivating yourself. You survived because you have purpose. I said it before. I thought I forgot to write that down, but I didn't. You survived because your life had purpose. When I just told you how God revealed me to me, and I realized how much purpose I had over my life. I think about my friend that died a few weeks ago. Her name was Sharice Ross, and she was molested as a child. And I don't know, I cannot compare. We didn't exchange stories of it with each other, but we both had similar testimonies. And I don't know how traumatic her experience was, even compared to mine. But I know that mentally it took a devastating toll on her mentally. And I miss my friend so much. We were the same exact age. We just a few months apart, and we would always celebrate each other birthdays, and we would always talk about the goodness of God. And she was my prayer partner, spiritual partner. I met her back at my Philly church home, and she was just my friend for many years before she died. And sometimes I can see the effect that it was having on her, the things that happened to her, her trauma, and ultimately it did kill her. It took her out of here. And sometimes I just wish so bad that I could just slap her out of it, like shake her and just let her know that no one is going to do anything to you. She was in a constant state of feeling like she was being attacked or someone was trying to do something to her and all of those things. And I had to constantly remind her that no one was trying to do anything to her. But even thinking about the loss of my dear friend, it makes me so grateful that I am alive, because I know that that could have been me. My trauma could have took me to the state of mind where I totally could not have even right now couldn't have control over my own thoughts or actions, or constantly feeling like someone is attacking me, and it could have taken my life. I could be not here telling my story right now. So I'm grateful that I am a survivor, and it does allow me to realize that my life has purpose. I have plenty of purpose behind my life, and these things did not just happen just for me to be able to say I made it through. God allowed me to overcome these things so I can be able to sit in front of people and tell my story about how I made it through. And God revealed that to me during my spiritual journey. And I am so glad that I am a survivor and an overcomer of my traumas. So your family needs you. You need you. You have to continue to live no matter what. I'm telling you, this trauma thing is real. It is serious and it is real. And people suffer with these things on the regular basis, so much so that it can prevent you from living a normal life. And I want these things to be able to come to an end so we can move forward forward to living as normal as we possibly can, even with the fact that we had to deal with certain traumas in life. And it really can be a range of anything, but you do not have to allow the traumas of your life to hold you down for the rest of your life. So trauma can make us lose trust in humanity, but somewhere in all the darkness there is light. Trauma can allow us to lose faith in humanity. I did a serious study on overcoming trauma last night, and I just looked at so many stories of survivors who have overcame traumas, mass murderers, the only survivors, people who have watched their whole entire family be murdered right in front of their faces, and things that I did not never even hear of, things that happen all across the world, and just accidents and just all type of things on trauma. And some of the things, just the inhumane um acts of human beings, the things that people have done to cause harm on other people. It does make you lose trust in humanity. But in all this darkness, is as much as darkness that it is out here in this world, there is even more light. So I don't want us to get wrapped up in who's going to hurt you next, because no one is ever going to hurt you again. I had to tell myself that no one is ever going to hurt me again. The only way that someone is going to hurt me is if I allow my guard to be let down and I allow someone to hurt me again. But as far as I can control, no one is ever going to hurt me again. So I don't want to lose trust in humanity. I know that there is some amazing people out here in this world, even with a bad marriage, bad relationships, bad friendships, people who have done me wrong, people not being who I probably thought that they were all my life and whatever. And I still don't want to lose hope in humanity, because I know that there are genuinely some sincere, kind-hearted, loving, nurturing, beautiful people out here in this world. And that is the type of hope that I want to hold on to. So don't lose hope in humanity, because I want you all to know that in the darkness there is plenty of light. So use your suffering to help you grow. Use the things that you have been through to help you grow. You are more capable than you think you are. You probably think you can't. I hear people say those words out of their mouth way too often. They are full of excuses, and they are constantly saying, I can't, I can't, I can't. We feed ourselves the excuses of why we can't before we even try. You can more than you know you can. You are more capable of doing something that you don't even know the strength. I'm telling you, because I know. I did not even know the strength that I had inside of me. I didn't even know it was there. I didn't even know it exists. I was like, wow, what is this? This is power. This is control. This is strength. This is peace. This is guidance. This is love. There were so many things packed down inside of me, and I was allowing it to be overshadowed by the I can'ts and the negativity, that I didn't even give myself the benefit of the doubt. I am so glad that those days are over for me. I am very glad that I have got past that point in my life where I continue to feed myself those I can't, and me realizing that I am more capable than I think I am. Sometimes I got to stop myself and tell myself, girl, you better sit down, because you are not Superwoman, but I'm going to give it a hell of a shot. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to try harder than I have ever tried and put forth more effort than I have ever put and pull rabbits out my hat and magic tricks from under my cat. Create miracles for yourself. You can do it. There are things that lie within you that you don't even know is there. You have to stop feeding yourself the lies of I can't, because I'm telling you that you can. If nobody ever told you a day before in your life, there are things that you are capable of doing that you will shock your doggone self. You be like, well, you will have to take a triple look in the mirror, because you won't even believe that it is you doing the things that you are doing. All you have to do is tell yourself that you can do those things and believe in yourself. Have faith in yourself that you are capable of doing these things. I'm telling you, you can. So, learn healthy ways to cope with your trauma. Release all negative emotions associated with your trauma. You have to release the anxiety. You have to release the stress. You have to release the negative thinking. You have to release your negative, ignorant family members. You have to release the chit chat and the naysayers and the people who telling you what you can't do. I don't care who it is. It could be your ignorant mama. It is some ignorant mamas out here. And if your mama got to go, your mama got to go. Say, hi, mom. I love you. Bye, mom. This is not serving me. I have some healing to do. Do whatever it is that you have to do to release the negative emotions. If you know, every time you talk to a certain person, here triggers these negative emotions that you know you're trying to move past. And every time you talk to the same people, here come these negative emotions over and over and over again. They're your solution right there. There's your solution. I can't talk to you. At least not right now. I had to get back to establishing maybe a healthier relationship with you in the future. But right now, I have to prioritize my healing. My relationship with you is not serving me. I'm sorry. You have to go. I love you, but I have to love you from a distance. Just rip it off like a band-aid. It's going to hurt. It hurt me to have to let some people go. I didn't want to get divorced. I thought I was going to be with my husband forever. I loved that man. I didn't think it was going to end that way, but it did. And it was going to be me or him. I couldn't do. I had so much work to do within myself. One time my ex-husband looked at me because he has a lot of unhealed issues that he had to recognize himself. And he asked me, he said, ain't you gonna try to figure out what's wrong with me? And don't you want to get down to the source of why I act in some of the ways that I act? And I was like, no. And that is so unfair for you to even ask me that, because I have to get down to the source of my own issues. How I'm going to get down to the source of somebody else's issues if I can't get down to why I am so messed up? I got to figure myself out. I can't be out here trying to figure somebody else out, and I can't even figure myself out. So I had to let some relationships go. Even the ones that I didn't want to let go. I had to do it. It was necessary, because if I didn't, I would not be where I am today. I would still be hung up on somebody else's issues and not even on the path to discovering what is wrong with me so I can help my own issues. I would not even be where I am today if I was somewhere steady trying to figure out what's going on with somebody else. That wasn't going to work for me. That might work for somebody else. That might work for you. But I had to prioritize my healing. And he is just one example of some of the people that had to go. Trust me, a lot of them had to go, and they might stay there. They might just stay where they are forever and ever and ever, as far as I'm concerned, and that's okay. I had to make peace with that. And it doesn't necessarily mean anything against them. It's about me and my spiritual journey. I cannot heal and be in your life or have you effectively be in my life. This is toxic. This is not good for you or me. Some relationships just are not meant to be. And that is not saying anything offensive. That's not calling them any type of person or saying there's something wrong with them. It's just we don't work. And everybody just don't work together. And then it could be a range of people. And it just might be some people that you are related to. Listen, I don't make up the rules. It just by all means necessary. It depends on how bad you want these things for yourself. So I had to release the negative emotions and everything that was associated with the negative emotions. And that was some people. Because I had some healing to do. I still got healing to do. I can't stop my healing just because I got to be related or have a relationship with different type of people. Is either me or the people, and I choose me. So forgive yourself. A lot of us are carrying around unforgiveness, self-forgiveness. So we need to forgive ourselves for the things that we have done to cause harm with to ourselves or to other people. So do good and love yourself enough to be great. Begin to do great things. Begin to do good things. Create a different version of yourself by doing things that you have never done before. Do good and love yourself enough to be great. Tell yourself that you are more glad. Now listen to this. This is you gotta listen to this good. I'm gonna read it like 3 times. Tell yourself that you are more glad that you survived than sad that it happened. Tell yourself that you are more glad that you survived than you are sad that it happened. Sometimes we get hung up on the fact that it happened instead of saying, I'm so glad that that didn't kill me. A lot of times that's my initial reaction to things, that I'm glad that everyone survived. Is everyone okay? That everyone survived. Then we can deal with everything else that comes along with the trauma of it happening. But celebrate the fact that it could have been worse, and that it wasn't worse, because in all reality it could have been much worse than what it actually was. So tell yourself that you are more glad that you survived than sad that it happened. You might have to think about that a couple times, but I'm glad to say that I have overcome my traumas, or that I am a survivor and a overcomer of the traumas that were come up to destroy me and to kill me. Because if it was up to the people and things that were created to destroy me, I would not be here. They probably still want me out of here. It didn't work the first time, and it's not going to happen because of the purpose that I have behind my life and the things that God has me out here doing. So I am glad to say that I am a survivor and an overcomer. And that outweighs everything. That outshadows everything. Even the fact that it happened in the first place. No, it should have never happened. But I'm so glad to be able to sit in front of people and say that I survived. That is so much to be grateful for. So, you have you have to be willing to make the change from victim to victorious. You have to be willing to make the change from victim to victorious. You have to be willing to make that change. Nobody is going to do it for you. We can walk around with the label of victim plastered on our forehead in big bold red letters for the rest of our life, because in our reality, that's just what it looks like. A lot of people allow themselves to be victims of circumstances, and it just defines your entire life. Everything that is you is associated with the thing that happened to you. You can allow yourself to play victim for the rest of your life, or you can make the conscious decision in your own mind to be victorious over the things that happen to you. You can call me victorious, because that's what I want to be. That's what I have in the descriptions on the cover of one of my books. It says, if you had to label me or something, I don't know, I haven't read it in so long, but if you had to name me anything or call me anything, it would be victorious, because I am victorious. And it's not to say that situations won't happen. Things are going to happen. We never know when something might happen. But just like I grinded it up last time, it can come my way if it want to. I feel sorry for it, because I'm going to grind it up again. That's just the type of person that I want myself to be. I am not going to shrink down, be afraid of what might happen next, continue to play victim of what happened to me before in the past, and continue to suffer mentally and all of those things that come with being a victim of trauma and all of those things. I am not going to allow myself to be overtaken by the traumas of life. I am going to allow myself to be a overcomer and victorious in all that I do, no matter what it is. I want to make that my reality. I want to make it so it will be my natural reaction to whatever happens to me moving forward in life. Sakara gonna tear it up. She gonna tear it down. Oh, here it come. Oh, there it go. I'm gonna send it running back to where it came from, because it can't have me. This is my life. I want you to speak that over yourself. This is your life. This is what I want for myself. I want to be victorious. Nothing is going to ever bring me down. It didn't bring me down before, and I'm not going to let it bring me down this time. This is me we talking about here. It ain't happening. It's not going to happen. Not with me. You're going to have to go somewhere and try it with somebody else, because I'm too strong for that. I'm too powerful for that. My life carries too much meaning and too much purpose for me to be overtaken by the circumstances of life, of the things that think that they are going to come down to destroy me. Not me, not here, not today. This is me. This is my life. I want to live. I love it. I choose myself. I choose to be strong. I choose to be victorious. I choose to be a overcomer. And that is how I ended my message on overcoming trauma. I do have one affirmation and a few I have a few affirmations and one quote that I want to leave with you guys. But I want to give a big shout out to those of you who sat through this message on my social media platforms. Big shout out to you guys. I hope that this message helps you in some type of way. I know trauma trauma is something that we all go through from time to time. I hope that you are able to take something from this message and apply it to your trauma in your life and begin a new journey of healing that you have been waiting for so long. Maybe you have been carrying around your trauma for way too long and you want these things to come to an end. It's not too late. You can begin it now. You can begin your journey of healing. You can look at your traumas as a thing of the past and you can look forward to a brighter future. I am not telling you because of a textbook. I am not telling you because somebody told me. I'm telling you because I lived through it and I do it every single day. You do not have to allow yourself to be a victim of circumstance and of trauma and the things that happened to you in your past. You can overcome these things like nothing never happened. And people be looking at you like, wow, wow, you can blow your own mind. You can surprise your own self. You can be your own superhero. So big shout out to you guys that are here on my live stream message. I just pray that this blesses you in a special way. So this quote that I wrote down. It's a long quote. I normally don't focus on quotes this long because I like my quotes to be short and powerful, but I absolutely love everything about this quote. This is from a woman named H.D. Carlton, fairly young, beautiful woman, and she is a international best-selling author with a laundry list of accomplishments. I believe her main accomplishment is being a very successful author. So I am going to go back and check out some of her books. So this is what Miss H.D. Carlton said. What happened to you does not define you. It only forged a new path that will take you to a different version of yourself. But no one can force you to walk that road. Only you can determine who you will be once you get there. It's your choice who you become. I love that quote. Thank you, Miss Carlton, for this amazingly powerful quote. Your trauma, it kind of forces us into becoming stronger and becoming a version of ourselves that we probably didn't imagine that we had to be. It is totally your choice. I'm just taking bits and pieces from this quote. It is your choice to become who you are going to become beyond your trauma, the things that you had to live through. No one can force you to walk the road of healing and doing the necessary things that you have to do for yourself. Only you can determine what you will become. So a lot of us become overtaken by our traumas, and a lot of us use our traumas as an excuse why we can't be who we really want to be in life, and we fall under these circumstances of trauma. And a lot of us overcome these traumas and be triumphant. It is just absolutely your choice. You are standing at the finish line with gold medals and trophies in your hand. You are jumping up and down and everyone is screaming for you because you triumphed. You made it. You won. And a lot of us, if you had to picture it in your own mind, because I see people every day that lies under their circumstances and the things that happen to them. And they talk about the things that happen to them. And I am not minimizing your pain or the things that you had to go through or any of that. I am not comparing what I had to go through to what you had to go through. I don't know what it feels like, but I know that you don't have to lie there and allow these things to dictate your destiny and the direction that you are headed in and overtake your life. You can overcome any trauma, anything that comes your way. You can survive, you can heal, you can make it past these things. You can put yourself in a place mentally and be very creative in your self growth. Look deep down inside of you. Do whatever you have to do to overcome these traumas. This does not have to be the end of you. So it is totally up to you where you will go from here. So my affirmations are, I want you to speak these things over yourself. I want you to convince yourself of these things. And I want you to believe this within yourself. Say this to yourself. I am not my trauma. I am safe. I am not my trauma. Your trauma is just what happened to you. Here's your trauma. Here's you. Two different things. I am not my trauma. I am safe. You are safe from your trauma. I'm not negating the fact that it happened and that it hurt. But the reality of it is that it is over and it is time for us to move past these traumas in our lives. Say that to yourself. I am not my trauma. I am safe. I want to speak that over myself with conviction. I want to convince myself that I am safe. I am not my trauma. I am not the things that happened to me. I want to move past those things and move on to the life that I really want for myself without my traumas being roadblocks and barriers getting in the way of my destiny and my joy and my peace and my prosperity and my happiness and my love. I don't want my traumas to get in the way of me living my life to its fullest potential. I am not my trauma. I am safe from my traumas. It is over. Speak that over yourself. I don't know, y'all. That was good. Listen, I think I am ready to go to the Psychiatric Center of Delaware and do my in-person message on trauma. What y'all think? I don't know. This was in preparation of doing this, but not only was this in preparation of doing it, there's so many people that need a message on overcoming trauma. I mean, since I began to talk about trauma, so many people that I associate with on the regular basis have came out and told me about traumas that they walk around with. Even to this very day, just talking about these traumas, there are more people with these living traumas than we realize that it is. It could be your neighbor, it could be your co-worker, it could be somebody in your family. They could be sleeping in the bedroom next to yours. It could be your children, it could be your spouse. They could be laying in the bed right next to you. Maybe your spouse needs to go and get help with their traumas and recognize some of the traumas that they are going through. Maybe you personally have traumas that you need to overcome. It is possible. You can do it. You can overcome the traumas of life. I am not minimizing it. I am not negating the fact that it happened or that it hurt. All I'm saying is we can release these things and they do not have to stay with us forever. Listen, I feel good about this message on overcoming trauma. Even me and my personal traumas, I can apply a lot of these things to the traumas that I had to suffer through in life and continue on my journey of healing through my trauma. So I hope this helps somebody. I hope it helped you. God bless you. Thank you so much for your presence here, for every like, every share, every view. I can't believe my 30-minute power pack motivational message from Friday that passed, it exceeded the amount of views. I got like almost 300 views for that 30-minute motivational message between my Facebook and my YouTube, that message on self-love just shot through the roof. That must have been a very powerful message. People must have needed it. I don't know what it was about that message that I delivered. Just a quick, powerful 30-minute message, but it grew quick. Like within an hour, it got like over 100 views, and it completely blew my mind. So you might want to go back to my message from this Friday that just passed. It was like my Mother's Day dedication message, and I believe I labeled it self-love. But I want all of my messages to have a powerful impact. I want to help people. I want to be able to help people and to be able to pull the wool from over your eyes, just as God did that for me, because God was like, I have to show you something. And he put me in front of myself and showed me me. And it was mind blowing. You are amazing. You are incredible. You are powerful. You are stronger than you think you are. You have more potential inside of you than you give yourself credit for. Don't be dumbing yourself down and dimming your light because people are not able to take the light that you have that shines from within you. I'm telling you, you have something inside of you that this world needs. I could not believe when God revealed me to myself. It was the most amazing thing that I ever saw in my entire life. It was nothing like what I was raised and lied to believe about myself. God showed me how absolutely incredibly amazing that I truly am from the inside. I'm not talking about my outer appearance. God showed me what I had inside of me that I had to reveal to this world. So that is it. Before I go, just let me shout out my YouTube channel. I am so close to having 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. If you have not yet went to True Value Knowing Your Worth on YouTube, please become one of my subbies. That is True Value Knowing Your Worth on YouTube. There's a lot of fun. There's a lot of motivation. There's a lot of power pack short videos. I have I'll be close to like 2,000 videos. I pour my heart and my soul into that. That is my baby. This whole journey and experience. I cannot only say that my YouTube channel was my baby, but I do love it and I do put a whole lot into it. But just this whole journey that God has me on, I am very passionate about it, and I believe that it is much needed. So please go to my YouTube channel. That is True Value Knowing Your Worth on YouTube, and become one of my subscribers. Thank you in advance. And if you have already done so, I thank you for your support in that way. Also, my books are available and on sale on Amazon. That is True Value Knowing Your Worth, Walking Treasure, Discover Your Hidden Treasures, Feed Your Soul, Your Personal Guide to Health and Wellness, and Religiously. And that is taking a closer look at spirituality and religion. So love yourself, be kind to yourself, care for yourself, overcome your traumas. Don't let nothing in this world bring you down. You are better than that. I don't care what happened to you in your past. It could have been anything. Might have to deal with certain illnesses and issues or losses of loved ones or tragic accidents. No matter what it is, if God allowed you to wake up this morning, if he woke you up today, you have much purpose behind your life, and you have survived the things that God has allowed you to survive for a reason. Do not take those things lightly. Do not take those things for granted. Already speak over yourself right here, right now, in these moments. I am an overcomer. You are a overcomer, because you are. If you made it this far, you are a overcomer. So I'm going to leave you guys with that peace and blessings. Thank you for your presence here. Go ahead and enjoy the rest of your week. Look forward to more motivational messages. Lord willing, I will be right back here Friday morning before 9:30 and 10 a.m. with another motivational message of the day. Just a little jump start to you guys' week. And in the meantime, continue to stay blessed.